Look how smooth this is and the acceleration that he creates. Shorter backswing, but incredibly smooth. Incredible speed at the bottom. I have actually used his rhythm in mind at times on range when I'm getting a little bit quick at the top. And I'd advise any golfer out there, if they start getting a little quick and snatchy at the top of the swing, find your favorite golfer that you appreciate his rhythm.
6, including a triple at 18. You shoot 40 on the back 9. McCarthy from the fairway bunker at the first.
Yeah, it looks like he's on the upslope there, so he might have a few lip issues coming in there with a no more than a wedge or a gap wedge. At front hole location, if he catches it solid, look for it to have a lot of spin when it lands on the green. That's what it sounded. Solid. Wow, that is surprising. It's stuck. That was a very good shot. Hardest thing in the world to do is catch a wedge solid out of the sand.
Across the way here with Piercy.
From 95 yards. And he gets the spin. Be very careful with the contact here. And he'll be able to escape with par, but after that tee shot would have expected more than that. A couple of tough holes coming up, 2 and 3, tough, the hardest par 4s on at this point.
I think that's a valid point. You know, I wondered about that as well. We picked up, you know, Keith Mitchell. He's a PGA Tour champion, of course, so he's not averse to attention late on a Sunday. I get it, but he rips off 7 birdies to start his round yesterday. A little buzz starts to get generated around the golf course, a couple of cameras, and then he cooled off for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, the pitcher in baseball throwing the no-hitter, and then all of a sudden everybody in the dugout starts moving around and going, come on, you can do it, you can do it. That would never happen, but in golf it does, and to be able to deal with that.
Beautiful speed with that one. McCarthy will stay at +1. Motion, power to burn. It's very much the modern day prototypical player right here, isn't it, Daniel?
I think that when we start looking at tour events back up in the 2030s and 2040s, pretty much every player on tour is going to look like that. That's going to be your future model of golfer. I remember back in the 80s and the 90s, if you were over 6'1", people said you couldn't play golf because clubs weren't good enough to deal with your length, and that was the ideal height. Incredible speed that he can still generate. There was a very famous Italian golfer on the European Tour called Emanuele Canonica, who was perhaps the longest hitter in world golf, and he was only 5'7", 5'8" with spikes. So height doesn't necessarily translate into speed. Certainly is an advantage.
Ian Woosnam had an okay career, didn't he?
Certainly did. Watching him yesterday, playing very efficiently at Sunningdale at the Open, Senior Open. Whole location early in the morning where it's possible we'll see somebody hoop one. Throw it in there 2 or 3 yards past the flagstick, spin back down the hill.
You were saying? Oh! Oh, brother.
This will not have any backspin on it, but avenue to land the ball on the front edge and have it bounce up there.
Davis looking to stop that one with elevation, and he came up short. Cam Davis will chip this one from off the green at the opening hole.
As I mentioned, these are the types of shots that he would have grown up playing, so obviously proficient at that. That was close to going in. Not as simple as chip shot as you'd probably get on the PGA Tour. He had left himself. So. And this would be a bounce back after the 12.
Yes, the ultimate bounce back. Okay, 12 to close Saturday and a 3 to begin Sunday. And just above the hole from a few feet here, Davis for his par.
What time of day would you prefer to play 60-degree temperatures this time of year anywhere as a bonus? Sun Kang will have to definitely keep it left of that bunker.
He does not get cheated. That one's going to find the fairway.
The ball running out a little bit. We might see some big drives this afternoon. And 300 yards to reach the bunker on the very left edge. So, again, anything short of that to the right is in the water. This one leaking just a fraction, looks like. Ooh, and that's dangerous. Definitely bounced on land. He might have gone out in the first episode, I don't know. No, but he became a bit of a star from this. He was around in that season for a few episodes.
I don't have to cut it. Ball's going shorter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a better play.
Okay.
Known for speaking a lot of trash on the show, and none of that to Sun Kang, however. Nothing but positivity. Good looking shot here towards the center of the green, just right of the hole. Very well done.
Irons have been dialed in early here.
Now, got away with the tee shot. Nowhere near as dangerous as it seemed on camera, but this one certainly is. Strike is imperative here. Sounded good. And it is good.
Clean strike from the bunker, and Davis has got it inside the tour a couple of seasons ago.
And a good start. As Ari alluded to,
Next
that
on the
199
tee,
number
from
there, we'll
Baghdad,
watch
Florida,
that as we follow him
BubbaWatson.
during the...
And the big looper's going to get a soft landing and catch the first cut over there.
Went straight and overcorrected there.
Up at the second, Kang to start the morning with 2 straight birdies. A couple of victories on the Asian Tour 2013 season. It was a little low. Hit the under. Birdie attempt for Davis on the same line as Kang, and he rolls that one in for a birdie at 2. 131 yards to go for Bubba into the opening hole, Gary.
Yeah, so just a wedge in this little tucked position. Just don't want to miss this one left. Bubba obviously hits it a whole lot further. But a chance here from a decent angle. Banks in on both sides. Just inside 100 yards.
All right, without any spin, that one third we go.
Boy, that was absolutely blasted right down the middle. What a great drive there. Brilliant. Very proficient from the other side of the golf ball. a couple Japanese players. Shingo Katayama was very good. Would warm up with a left-handed golf club. Hit golf balls in the range.
Eccentric would only lightly describe Mac O'Grady, right? An all-time character in the game.
Absolutely.
Start to turn and make its descent toward the hole. You pointed out this week, Daniel, that he's a lot more comfortable.
Looks like this is maybe close to the fall line.
And a brilliant, perfect start from ChrisBaker.
It was born where it's pretty much a 50-50 proposition on the PGA Tour statistically. If you make more than half, you start to gain strokes on the field. Nice. Bubba grips that one in. No damage done. It's you up at the third.
Yeah, there's no way to get it to the green. Just trying to advance it as far down there as you possibly can. Give yourself an angle. Location in the back right.
Certainly the first hole would have been comfortable to his eye. Second, equally comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's heading down the left side.
It's just the 7th cut that Chris has made in 20 starts this season.
Come out of this and block this to the left.
That was a fine strike from Watson. He'll find the fairway here at the second. A second ago, this was the Davis approach into the third.
Yeah, from 162, they said it's a 3/4 one, so that would mean a 3/4 8-iron. Wouldn't be a 3/4 9.
Oh,
what a shot! Ricochets off the flagstick.
It's coming back in the hill.
Boy, that was.
they're chuckling
unfortunate.
about it, but there are good breaks and bad breaks. If your approach shot clatters off the flagstick, that would qualify.
We'll get back to it a little bit later now.
Kang's approach just a moment ago, his third shot here.
Oof. That nearly takes a piece of the flagstick on its way by as well. That's a great opportunity to save par. With the flagstick. But it's just something that I think that so many times players get bad breaks off flagsticks, particularly when they're of the firmer variety like you see at the Open Championship.
Is this an idea you've ever floated to some other players? I'm curious what their reaction would be.
I think players would be for it, whether or not the governing bodies would be considering, but now that they're doing these broad changes, just to make it more equitable, considering the impact something like that, no pun intended, will have on the outcome of a tournament.
Davis just makes par, and Kang trying to save his from inside 6 feet here.
Yeah, the only time, obviously, in golf we ever have the option, not option, but it's mandatory to replay a stroke is when you hit one of those overhead power lines. Stroke must then be canceled and replayed.
Hard-working for Sung Kang at the third.
And with such a bunched leaderboard, that's a perfect recipe for excitement come late this afternoon.
83 and down.
Davis shielding his eyes from the morning sun that's on the rise and watching that one sail in there to about 30 feet.
And that's still rolling. That's going to catch that ridge and
you can stay pretty aggressive.
Good week with the irons, 12th in hitting greens at nearly 80%. Some big targets out here. They average about 6,500 square feet, these surfaces.
I wish they were Gore-Tex.
Head down.
Down.
Left and a little deep. Settle now.
Yeah, just 154 for Bubba. Nice little backstop, 15 feet behind this hole. Just don't want to miss this one left.
Did Baker just blow it by Bubba by about 10 yards or so?
He did again, yeah. It's not what I expected, but I think he's enjoying it. That was a good shot from Bubba, well controlled. And I like that's the way it should be. So if you're worried about that, you steer away from it and you take potentially birdie out of play. .149 for Baker. This looks to be on a good aggressive line.
It looks like Bubba will get just a... So...
Rom will not be replaced, by the way. Representing the flag of Spain, DeChambeau will be replaced by Patrick Reed, who's competing here in Minnesota this week, and he made the cut, so Reed will finish his round today and hustle over to Tokyo.
So just sort of settle things down and hopefully could take control of at least being in the Korn Ferry Tour finals, and then maybe can free swing it a bit in the last couple of events.
Yeah, and Gary, to your point, it really is that number 200, perhaps the underrated, most important number, because if you finish outside the top 200, you have nothing. You've got no Korn Ferry status, you've got no membership on tour, you've got absolutely, and he'll go from that to an opportunity to be playing on tour again. So that number is huge. Slow
putt coming back up the hill, and Davis bangs that one toward the hole, and it will pull up a couple feet short.
Yeah, as we saw, just a slight underread. Daniel, I'd love to get your opinion on this routine. These tiny little strokes that Bubba makes, like kind of different rhythm, and then it's a different stroke, isn't it? The real swing.
Well, I would love for him to watch. Wow. Well, we can't critique it now, can we?
Fourth shot for Kang here, up at the third. Flag stick out, had designs on holding that one, and he almost did. And that's outside the coin of Cam Davis. It's early featured group coverage for you on Sunday of the 3M Open.